Our first presenter is Carl Brown. Carl is the founder and president of Simply RFID and has spent 2 decades revolutionizing inventory management with RFID systems. Carl's blend of RFID, imaging, and cloud expertise fuels Sidra systems operations across the globe with cutting-edge design in the USA, ORT installations in Malaysia, and rigorous testing in the Philippines. A fun fact about Carl is he built a tolling gantry in a rice field in the Philippines. Hungry for more? Well, wait no further. Please help me welcome Carl Brown to the stage.
Thanks, everybody. Let's see. As mentioned, I'm Carl Brown. There's one little thing you left out there, Austin. I founded Sidra also, so I run Simply RFID and Sidra as well. I think we shortened it a bit, but I founded Sidra to get into the tolling side of things, and that's where that comes from. So what I want to do today is I need to give you a little background first as to where, to bring you up to speed on what RFID is, because if you've done it for 20 years, a lot of times you think everybody knows what you do. So 2002, I started simplyrfid.com, which is very interesting because it was a cool thing back then, right? So we had to get rid of it later. But we started out doing inventory for Walmart, Target, Department of Defense, and the things that I'm going to tell you today are the stories that I learned over 20 years and how they impact how you're going to do tolling in the future and how you have to think about how do I collect tolls. So the first thing that happened was we tried to tag items going into your Walmart and Target stores. So we did an installation in Mississippi. Have anybody been to Mississippi? You been there? Anybody from there? Oh, Eric has. Well, I work with Eric, so don't listen to him. But it takes about a day to get to Mississippi, only because there's not a lot of flights. It's in the middle of the country, and so we did an installation at a factory there to tag all the items going onto this conveyor. And that conveyor in the bottom left corner is what we built. It scanned every box, and inside every box was 30 items. And it would say 30, 30, 30, everything's perfect. We did it for a day. Fly home, I landed home, and I get a call from the plant manager, and I'll do my best Mississippi accent. Carl, you gotta get down here. This thing is just rejecting everything. He's a big guy, and he was very angry when things didn't work right. So next morning, I fly back down to the plant. I get there, and there's hundreds of boxes lined up, and he says, your system's just rejecting everything. I said, oh my goodness. All right, so let me fix it. I hop on there, I grab the first box, I throw it in there, and it comes down and says, short, 29 out of 30. And the system says it. It's right there in front of you. But I said, well, let's take a look inside. Nope, there's 29 items in here, so bad box. We get to the next box, and it says, boop, over, 31 out of 30. I get in there, there's 31 items in here. I go through 10 boxes, and every one of these boxes was wrong. They'd been packed wrong, the wrong count, mixed products. They had smalls and mediums in there. And after that, he goes, never mind. And I went back to my hotel, and by the next day, he had come up with a system, and what everybody had to do from that point forward was put their initials in every box. So, you know what happened? 100%. 99.x%, those boxes were packed correctly. Why? Because they had accountability at that point. But the hard thing to do is to measure your own capability. If I asked you how good is your system, everybody says it's 100%. The reality is, until you start measuring it, you have no idea. And RFID lets you do that. After about 10 years, we moved into things with RFID with FBI, CIA. We were in the DC area, was our main office. And we got an email from a Gmail address. Might have even been AOL, I don't even know. But I got an email, and they said, hey, we hear you guys do this tracking stuff. And I said, yeah. He says, we'll be right over. And then boom, a couple of black SUVs pulled up at our office, being my basement, pulled up, and the guys roll out, and they come in there, and they look around, and they say, well, let me see you read what's in this box. And sure enough, from 20 feet away, they walked by, and we could tell them, oh, inside that box is your cell phone and these other items. And they go, oh, we'll take it all. So they bought this stuff, and in fact, they just wrote an IOU, and they gave us a business card, and said, we're gonna pay you. And we're like, okay. And they had guns, what are we gonna do? And they took it out of the door, and we found out what they were setting up was a very elaborate sting operation. And they went to a facility that they shipped about 3,000 laptop computers every month. But 20 would go missing, 30 would go missing. So how do you find 20 or 30 missing laptops in 1 month? Well, it's difficult because if you're watching, just like when you're watching the conveyor, they stop stealing laptops. They just don't do it anymore. So they started secretly putting RFID chips inside every single laptop that was in the facility. And they put readers here, readers there. No one knew what this was, because this is before anybody knew what RFID was. This is 2010, 2008. And they put one reader above the pack table for a FedEx shipping station. And all of a sudden, they started noticing that, hey, there's these packages going out via FedEx that weren't supposed to ship to anybody, but they're in there. There's a laptop inside that package that was never sold, never moved out. And they figured out that somebody in the facility, I won't tell you who, was going on eBay, selling laptops, and then from the winner, they would use the federal government's own shipping system to ship them the winning bid from inside the facility. So FedEx would pick up 200 laptops out the door, take them to destinations, and then drop them off at the recipients. And it was only through this way were they able to figure out that there was somebody in there, and they managed to put cameras in there and catch the guy that did it. So the second part of this is that people will find ways to thwart any system. Doesn't matter how good your system is, how much energy you expend on stopping it, they'll find another way. So of course, once they know this, I won't tell you what they had to do next to stop them, but they're always gonna find a different way to get after your products. A little while longer, we moved a little further on, we started making our own custom refrigerators, and we made thousands of custom RFID refrigerators. So inside a refrigerator, we mostly do medical pharmaceutical tracking. And one of our biggest customers is in Japan. And has anybody sold stuff to Japan before? Nobody? Oh, Eric, come on now, stop. You're my star student. No, the thing about Japan is they will make you humble no matter what. Like in the US, we can all shake hands like we're gonna fix it. Japan, no. You'll have a phone call with them day after day about one error out of a million. And so we built an RFID refrigerator and 500 items inside. Once a minute, it pinged the items and it says 500, 500, 500. This was on for a month. Tens of thousands of transactions. And then it missed one. It read 499. And then the next morning, Moto-san calls me and says, Carl-san, this is my Japanese accent, I can't even do it. Carl-san, why is your system wrong? And the third thing I say about this is that you'll never get 100%. It doesn't matter. If you're going for 100%, you have to plan for what am I gonna do at 99 point whatever I'm gonna get to, and how do I deal with the outcome? Is it worth the cost to get that last 0.0001%? For Japan, it mostly is. So after I built a few things and got done with building refrigerators and tracking inventory, I decided to build a tolling gantry in a rice field. This is my rice field in the Philippines, and there's a farm-to-market road that runs through the middle of it. So I said to the local mayor, I said, hey, listen, could I build a gantry over top of your road? And he says, sure, let's drink some beer. So I built this gantry and started out with just doing a little piece of paper on design, and I'm an RFID guy, not a tolling guy. So this is a year and a half ago, really. I started getting into this. I said, hey, what could we do here? I did a little design. Someone made it look a lot better. Then I found a dude that knew how to do some welding. He started building things out, gave some more guys some beer. They brought over a team of guys and started putting up a gantry. I violated some OSHA regulations for sure. And voila, I had a tolling gantry in the middle of a rice field in the Philippines. But the main thing is that as a systems engineer, as a guy that likes to build things, I liked to create something new, to see what I could do. I had to figure out the geometry of RFID, video, everything that goes along with it, LiDAR and all the other systems to track how it was gonna work. And what did that translate into? Hopefully this comes out. Is it? Oh, there it goes. What that translates into is this. This is our gantry in Malaysia that we built. I went too far. Sorry, there. We built in Malaysia, and that weird little thing in the jungle, this one, I can't get back to it. Yes, I can. That little thing in there turned into this one here. There it is. Okay, perfect. So, the reason why I give you all this story is I want to kind of give you some ideas at the end of this is how you can use NFC and RFID in tolling today the way I see it. I currently actually live in the Philippines. I grew up in the Philadelphia area. I lived in Frisco up until recently also. But I see a lot of different things, and we're currently working in Malaysia and tolling. It's a lot different than the US tolling environment. And what I saw in this NFC and RFID tag is something interesting. NFC, RFID, they've been around for a long time, 10 plus years. But what we now have, and we've always had a tag that had NFC and RFID. But what we didn't have was enough infrastructure that could read an RFID tag. But now, everybody's doing open road tolling with RFID now. That's kind of the standard. 6C, I don't know what you talk about it here exactly, but it's all out there. Everybody's deployed this infrastructure. 98% of households have a smartphone. 10 years ago, they didn't. Now they do. With a smartphone and NFC, you can change the value on a tag now. And I want to talk about how that can help you increase your tolling and options, and how you can help people have better services using this. Have you ever been in a hotel and seen this sign? Has anybody seen this sign before? Not you, Eric. But Austin has, great. So the first time I saw this sign in a thing, and the reason why I bring this up is that I want you to suspend disbelief for a minute that people don't know to put the shower curtain inside. But I'm out with my kids at a hotel and traveling, they're like 10 years old, and we have, of course, shower doors at home. And they come out of the shower and they go, "Dad, the floor's a mess in there, it's completely wet." And I go, that's why that sign exists. Until you've experienced it, it's common knowledge, it's common sense. Put the shower curtain inside, the water's gonna go on the floor, guys. And this is why I have to talk about why I think we're missing out certain opportunities. The first use of our NFC, I think, is that if you tap a tag, you should be able to tap up the balance. You should be able to find out what the balance is on it and upgrade or add money to it, top up, or whatever you're gonna call it. The reason I have this picture here is this is a toll plaza in the Philippines. You'll notice that it's all RFID, but nothing's moving. And the reason is that everybody has zero balance. They don't know how to change their balance. They don't have bank accounts. They don't have credit cards. So they pull up, it reads the RFID tag, and it says you have no balance, and they then pay cash. It does absolutely no good to have RFID if you have no way to put money on the toll tag. So this is the problem I'm trying to solve in the Philippines right now, which is how do I help these people solve this today? The people that have the money to top up the balance can't keep track of, they get stuck in the lines, and they're very angry. They're like, why is RFID doesn't work? It's the terrible solution. Why do we buy this? Well, we got to get money on your cards. If you were able to take your phone, tap it, and it said, hey, I want to add a microtransaction, $2, $4 to this so I can do my toll route, great. We could solve a problem, at least in the Philippines, maybe not in the US, but maybe in the US too. I think back to that shower curtain sign, we assume that everybody has credit cards. They can all do postpaid, but not everybody can. If you take an Uber out of here to Frisco, I guarantee you 50% of the time, they're gonna take 75 because it's free. And that drives me batty. Because if you're not paying attention, you wake up and you realize, oh my God, they're on 75. That adds 20 minutes to your drive, right? Versus the $5, $6 on NTTA or the Dallas North Tollway. It's a mess. The second thing that I see with this is HOV, selector. So on the left side, you've got the traditional style. You can flip the doohickey, right? But if you didn't get that tag, if you've got an old style tag, you can't go to HOV, right? You're stuck, you're a regular car. And I equate this to the toothpaste at the airport. Do you guys know, like you go there at the airport, you go to check in, you're like, I gotta check this carry-on, I gotta check it in because I got toothpaste, right? It's the same problem, right? I either gotta throw away the toothpaste so I can carry my bag on, or I gotta check my bag. And the airline will even tell you, well, you can take that on, sir. So, yeah, but it's got toothpaste in it. So this is the same problem that someone has if they don't have the flicky tag. You had NFC tags, which don't cost much more than a traditional RFID tag. You can do both. A person can take their smartphone, which 98% of the US has, tap it, and they can turn it to HOV 3, 2, 1, whatever they're currently at, and now they've made their tag multi-capable. As a bonus, that same tap can allow you to check for HOV violations, right? So when you do it, you can do a face ID, you can take a picture, do I have 4 faces, 3 faces, 2 faces, and put that out there, or you can even do voice identification. Or the last one I say is that everybody runs the app, and if they're all within range, you can say HOV 2, 3, or 4, which is a great potential add-on. I don't know how big a problem this is in the industry for toll violation, but I'm sure some people think about it. The last one I'll tell you that the third use I see on NFC is to self-commission tags. Now I know NTTA is pretty good. Like I said, lived here a few years. You can go in a lot of places and get a tag and get online and register it. But I don't see everybody getting there. And what you should be able to do is just pick up a tag, scan it with your NFC, take ownership of it, and now it's your tag and you can drive around and control it. The reason why this comes to mind is, back to the Philippines again, I have a car there, I have a toll tag. When I'm gone, people use my car. And what do? They run my balance down. Well, I get back, and we don't have a top-up. There's no such thing as a auto refresh. You have to go online, transfer money into your tag. I'm sorry, it's crazy, guys, but whatever. If I had any other way to do it, I wouldn't. But I can't even check the balance until I get to the tollway. So I go pulling up to the tollway, and now I'm one of those guys that gets up there that says low balance. I go, I'm not sure what that word was after that. You'll get up there, but I have no way to check that. And another driver doesn't either. If they want to drive my car, they won't know until they get to the tollway what the balance is. So if you could scan that tag, you'd now have a way to update it, check it, change driver, change owner, a lot of things you could take an opportunity to. These are the three things I see. You top up, change HOV, change biller, take ownership of a tag. Those are three things that would be really easy to implement that work with today's infrastructure. Same tag, it's just software changes that allow more options, especially for the underbanked or unbanked in the US that you may not know or think about. In this room, I don't think anybody has that issue, but outside this room, they say there's 40 million Americans that are under or no banking. I don't know if that's true. That seems like a really large number, but it's a big number. And these apps, things like Cash App and Venmo, would all make it possible for the rest of the world to take advantage of tolling more easily. And I think they also fit to the three things that I said before, is that you're never going to be perfect. People always find a way around it, absolutely. And you can't count what you don't know. So that's it. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate your sitting out.
Amazing, Carl. Thank you so much. We'll now open the floor to a couple of questions from the audience. Any questions? Yes, Shannon.
When you say tap it, are you talking about like when you get to the toll booth, tolling gantry, like what does that mean?
Yeah, so if you have an app on your phone, you're going to touch it to your toll tag that's on the windshield, and it'll let you change and say add money. So then I could pick Venmo, I could pick Cash App, and I could transfer money to my toll tag and top up, or I could change it to HOV mode and so on.
Okay, I thought you were tapping something like at the toll booth.
Yeah, no, I would. Yeah, hopefully we can get away from that. Right, absolutely. Yeah, tapping the toll tag is what I'm thinking.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Any other questions from? Yes, Aaron's just coming over with the mic.
Good talk. Thank you. I'm Bob Legato with Atkins Realis. Question about, you said the RFID and the NFC, are they co-resident in it, and do they talk while they're inside, and does it transmit back to the host? My mind's going crazy about all the things that could happen. Does it happen? It seems like a good use of NFC. We've used NFC for other items. We've done stickers for maintenance and so forth. Does it have the capacity to do all that stuff?
Yes. So the technology came out 10 plus years ago to put NFC and RFID together. So with my cell phone, I can connect to that tag and say, I want to go to HOV mode, and I can set one little piece of data, say HOV3. That's now in the RFID as well. And now the RFID, when it talks to the tollway, it says 3, 2, 1, and allows it to smartphone control the tag itself. It's integrated completely, yep, completely. Got it.
We have time for one more question. Could you repeat the question to Mike quickly? Sorry.
Do all tags have this already built in today, or is that something that has to be added?
It's an option. So just like doing an HOV clicker tag, I don't know the name for that, guys. Someone help me out. What is it called? A declaration tag? Is that what they call those? Okay. Just like those, you had to buy that kind of tag. An NFC plus RFID tag is a different type of tag. They exist from several vendors. You can pick and choose. But yes, you have to make a decision to start deploying those, but it won't affect your infrastructure. That's the key. You could start doing it, and once you have enough volume out there, put the smartphone app out, and then change value and add more services to the users. How much are the tags? I don't want to give a quote up here on the stage because I don't really know, but I know they're a lot cheaper than that the big clicker tag, the declaration tags, right? They're a lot less expensive. they're coming down more into the price of a regular, what you'd pay for a regular RFID tag. We're talking maybe 20% more for an NFC plus RFID tag.
Thank you very much,
Thank you all.
Carl.
Thanks,
Let's
everybody.
yes, thank you.